Welcome back. It is yours truly, Nick of Movie AV Impulse, and I did a top 5 recently on action movies that I would love to see get a 4K release. And I love the videos so much that I was going through my collection and I said, man, here are 5 more action movies that I would just love to see get a 4K release. And I really wish that one of these studios would listen. Recently, as you all know, Tim from Tim Talks Talkies put out a challenge about a perfect 4K set. This is just my personal preference on more action movies that I want to see. So while this video is not related into the Tim Talks Talkies thing, I just want to see these 5 get a 4K release because to me, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos are some of the greatest technologies that have come out for movie lovers, especially if you have a surround sound or even some sound bars. But me personally, I've always been one of those guys who just can't do a sound bar. No offense to anybody that can, it's totally fine. I mean, some people just don't have they don't want to have all those speakers laying everywhere, and I get it. But me, I love my tower speakers. I love my ceiling speakers. I love my surrounds. I love my subwoofers. And I have to feel that impact. So, before we get started, let's get into that intro. And for me, coming in at number 5, now this might not be a movie you guys have heard of. Maybe you have, but I recently bought the Blu-ray and I was thinking in my head, like, the visual effects are really awesome in this movie. And I was just like, a 4K well, not even a restoration, just a 4K to kind of make those colors pop a little bit more in some Dolby Atmos would really be appreciated on this one. If you haven't heard of this movie, it is a YouTube series. You can watch it for free. You know, you have to put up with the ads and all that YouTube provides. What a wonderful platform. But this movie is totally awesome. My buddy Todd convinced me to buy this because he said he's seen it, and that's going to be Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. I actually really enjoyed this. Now, they took the YouTube series and just made it into one movie. And I thought maybe there was a point where I would get bored with it, but I really didn't. And I do love Street Fighter, not as much as I love Tekken, but Street Fighter I grew up on. And Street Fighter 2 Turbo was like my favorite Super Nintendo game growing up playing that. It was just awesome, and I still own it to this day. So I would really love to see this get a 4K release. I don't know if they have one overseas, but as far as the US is concerned, this is not on 4K. And they probably won't put it on 4K just because it wasn't a high budget production. But the visual effects on here are actually not bad for being a YouTube series. It is really, really good. Coming in at number 4 now, the surround sound on this movie is already incredible. And I would really love to see it get a Dolby Atmos because there are a lot of explosions. There are a lot of sequences where they're playing music, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. And I would absolutely love to see this get a 4K release. And if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know. I think John Travolta gives a stunning, powerful performance. Jack gives a great performance. And Halle Berry, I mean, who doesn't want to see Halle Berry? She is still such an amazingly beautiful woman. I would love to see her in 4K on this one. And that is going to be Swordfish. Phenomenal movie, very underrated. The ending was so great. I was not expecting the twist at the end, but just the opening sequence where they do like a 360 when everything blows up, the surround sound on it is just crazy. So getting Adobe Atmos would just make it that much more better, and I would just love to see it. Coming in at number 3, and this is another Will Smith movie. I absolutely love it, and I'm not ever going to go back on Will Smith. I love him as an actor, and I'll never take that back. But I would love to see Enemy of the State get a 4K release. This movie is totally awesome. It really gives you a glimpse into what the future technology could do, especially watching it at this time. Jack Black in this movie is totally awesome. Seth Green, I mean, just the whole twist behind the movie is just great. I absolutely love it. Will Smith has no clue what the hell's going on, and everything just gets crazy from there. So, Enemy of the State, I would love to see this. Everybody gives a stunning performance. Who really would not want to see this on 4K? This is a great action movie, nonstop, keeps you on your toes. Absolutely love this one. Now, coming in at number 2, I think this is one of those Dwayne Rock Johnson movies that really gets overlooked and it's very underrated, but I personally love this movie. I'm gonna go as far as saying this is my number one rock movie. Another one that's very slept on is Walking Tall. You know, he made a lot of great movies, and I know he's a professional wrestler, he's great at it. But when it comes to acting, I think The Rock really holds a special spot. And that number 2 is going to be Faster. I absolutely love this movie as well. Billy Bob Thornton, he gives a tremendous role in this movie as a heroin addict trying to fight, like stopping the heroin addiction, but he just can't. And then he's trying to like make right with his kid and his wife. And then The Rock is just getting revenge on everybody that took out his brother, that killed his brother, and had anything to do with it. It is such a thrill ride, and I love the Chevelle he has in this movie. So to see that Chevelle in 4K and this getting Adobe Atmos treatment, it would just be phenomenal. If you have not seen Faster, I wouldn't even hesitate to go ahead and get this on Blu-ray. But if they ever come out with a 4K release, yeah, I'm buying this one on 4K for sure, hands down. I wouldn't even think twice about it. It is a very underrated rock movie, like really underrated. And I don't know why more people don't talk about this movie. Faster is just an adrenaline rush, and the name really suits what goes on in this movie because everything moves at a fast pace. Now, as an honorable mention, I'm doing this as an honorable mention because it is rumored to come out with a 4K release. I believe I've seen it on 4K D-Ray's Instagram at one point that it was teased and kind of rumored. And I believe I actually seen Ken over at Mid Level Media do the same thing on his physical media report. I think this one was a rumor as well. But I don't know one person that would not want to see this movie get a 4K release. And I know my man Cody is going to love this one as well. And if you haven't guessed by now, that is going to be Demolition Man. I would just absolutely love to see this movie get a 4K restoration. Wesley Snipes in this movie playing the villain. He is so perfect. That was the first time I ever learned what a 187 was, even though I've seen plenty of movies, but I never really looked into what it meant. And then we found out in the movie it means murder, death, kill. And the way that Wesley Snipes kills people is just crazy. So to see this get a 4K restoration with Dolby Vision, because it's a lot of dark scenes in here, and to get Adobe Atmos, especially when they go down underground into the sewers, just imagine your ceiling speakers, you can hear like the rats running around and the little drips from the pipes and all that underground stuff. It would just be absolutely amazing. And if you don't agree, get off my channel. I'm just playing. Don't get off my channel. Don't unsubscribe.
We're police officers. We're not trained to handle this kind of violence.
But, I mean, I really do hope that this gets a 4K soon. I hope that rumor comes true because I would just love to see this, and I think a lot of people are on board. I would personally love to see this before True Lies because I would watch Demolition Man over True Lies any day of the week. Sorry, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And finally, coming in at number one. Now, for me, what top five, as far as action goes, would this be without a Michael Bay movie? I mean, honestly, it's Michael Bay. I absolutely love Michael Bay. It's no secret. Did a top five with Andrew on Michael Bay as well because he's another Michael Bay lover. The guy just knows action. Yes, he uses the same formula almost every time, but it works and people go and see the movies. So I can't really deny that the man knows what he's doing when it comes to directing. If you want action, explosions, and all sorts of mayhem, you go to Michael Bay. There's nobody that does it better when it comes to that. But I know Criterion had a great looking release on this, but I would love to see this movie get a 4K treatment. And I don't know if it's rumored or not, but if it's not, Michael Bay, will you get on the goddamn ball with your movies? I suggested The Island in the last one. Will you please start restoring your movies? Do you not see the money grab that you are looking at? My God, I know you probably don't need the money though. So, all right, without any further ado, number one, The Rock. Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery did just give an amazing performance in this movie. A whole team of ex-military, take over Alcatraz, and they call it The Rock. And I love everything about this movie. To get Adobe Vision and Adobe Atmos upgrade would just be absolutely amazing, especially the gunfight where you got the guys up top and then you got the guys at the bottom. Imagine all those shots ringing out and you got the ceiling speakers going crazy. You got your background speakers going crazy. Your front end would just be going bananas. It would just be such a great movie to see get Adobe Atmos and Adobe Vision upgrade. I mean, just the underwater sequences. I would love, when it comes to Dolby Atmos, underwater sequences can be utilized so well because there's so much going on. You would kind of feel that you were in that dome. Like, you know how when you go underwater, you kind of just get like that dome of sound. I would just love to hear that, make that come to life. This definitely deserves a 4K restoration. Michael Bay, please, I am calling out to you. Start listening. Get whatever licensing you have to get back from whoever has it. Like I said, I think Criterion was the last one to have the rights. So maybe Criterion needs to get up on the ball with this one. 4K restoration, it is needed. Let's go. My God. So there is my stack. If you haven't seen any of these movies, definitely go check them out. I wouldn't hesitate to buy the Blu-ray because God knows when we're actually really going to get 4K releases on these. But this would just be an awesome, individual, because I really want them to really take the time to do a proper restoration on these action movies, because action movies, I feel like they should really take the time, because especially when you have fast panning scenes, sometimes, just a stutter, judder, that can really ruin a movie when you're watching it. Kind of takes you right out of the experience, but 4K really helps with that. Hope you enjoyed. Join me on Sunday. I'll be doing something. Who knows? But anyways, I will see y'all on the next video. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and then hit that bell notification because I got a lot of things going on this channel. More top fives with special guests coming. I'm still trying to put things into the works. And shout out to all of y'all. I love you. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.
Thank you.